What's really going on behind the satellite signals and social media spin? Why is Starlink, Elon Musk's satellite internet company, allegedly operating illegally in South Africa? And could this be tied to the sudden resurrection of the controversial white genocide narrative? Let's break it down. This is Heads Up SA, and I'm here to give you the facts they are not talking about. Recently, ICASA chairperson Mutibi Ramusi confirmed that Starlink has been operating illegally in South Africa. According to ICASA, equipment belonging to SpaceX, Starlink parent company, was confiscated in Northern Cape from a company called ICASA, which has allegedly been providing Starlink tech to locals.
This matter of Starlink, it's not starting this year. I must put it on record that as an authority, we have been made aware as early as 2022, 2023, and why there was a company called ICASA, and as you know, we've got citizens that are very loyal. Now, upon hearing all these issues, we actually went out on an investigation. In the Northern Cape, we confiscated equipment which related to SpaceX, because as you talk, the company SpaceX is the one that owns Starlink.
Yes, you heard that right. ICASA, a cheekily named company that plays off the name of the regulator itself, has reportedly been helping South Africans bypass government regulations to access Elon Musk's satellite internet. They are not alone. Starset Africa is also named in these allegations. According to South African law, any provider of electronic communications must have licenses, and the devices must be type approved. Starlink has neither, yet these devices are still being distributed. This raises an important question. Is Africa just testing ground for billionaire pet projects? No accountability, no local compliance, just backdoor imports and tech colonialism. Is this what we've allowed into our digital skies?
I mean, we're talking about Starlink here. I don't think we should tiptoe around it. We're talking about Starlink. There might be many other foreign satellite companies that have interest in operating in South Africa, but there's a specific interest in Starlink, and I think Siklo will speak to the political context about that as well.
No respect of law unless it suits them, and it's clearly a way to undermine the sovereignty of South Africa, even our digital sovereignty, to bring in entities like Starlink, as you heard in the White House, as if they're coming to solve our issues of crime. The failures that was created by the very president who was sitting there and his party, the failure to protect our borders, the failure to curb crime, and now we want to get an American technology to come and resolve it. And in so doing, we must bend our own legislations, regulations, and our Electronic Communications Act to do so. Totally unnecessary. The South African government can, with the will and with the right skill, meet rural connectivity. We've got the budget over the last 20 years, over 10 billion and more has been spent on rural connectivity. But the corruption of the ANC and now the GNU has made it impossible for us to roll out those. We've got CETA, we've got Centec, we've got Broadband Infraco, ICASA, all being funded annually by government to provide rural connectivity. So what is the point of Elon Musk? We've got satellite operators here in South Africa who, some of them are complying to the BEE regulations.
Here is where it gets even more suspicious. Not long ago, after Starlink faced regulatory pushback, Elon Musk amplified the controversial white genocide narrative, a claim widely discredited but politically potent. Could it be that Elon Musk wanted to draw the attention away from this company's operation in South Africa? Was this narrative a strategic distraction from having to comply with black economic empowerment laws? Because we all saw how he started pushing this harder after learning about South Africa's BEE requirements. And now, Donald Trump's advisor, Mark Burns, is backtracking, saying Trump was misled on white genocide claims. Convenient timing, isn't it? Meanwhile, in South Africa, MK Party SG Floyd Shivambu shared a post by Dr. Uma Johnson, who criticized President Cyril Ramaphosa for being treated like a child by Donald Trump during a White House visit. Uma Johnson dropped Steve Biko and Chris Hani amongst others, suggesting that they would never have allowed such treatment. Shivambu agreed, captioning it, That's correct. The message is clear. South Africa's political sovereignty is being tested, from broadband cables to boardroom deals.
I was very disappointed in the way that President Ramaphosa of South Africa conducted himself with President Trump. I really feel that he allowed President Trump to drive the conversation.
I did see him meet. I didn't get the chance to watch.
You gotta watch it. I felt like he completely disrespected the South African people, who I love. I'm very close with the South African family, and I felt the president of South Africa did not assert the dignity of his people by defending why so many South Africans are considering appropriating land from these Caucasians, because y'all invaded our country centuries ago, stole that land, enslaved us on our own territory, and now you have the audacity, President Trump, to call me a criminal to take back what was stolen from me by white criminals. And I really felt the president of South Africa let Donald Trump push an untrue narrative in his face. In his face.
So, what do you think? Is Starlink trying to bring internet to the people, or is this yet another case of billionaire overreach and tech colonialism? Should Elon Musk be held accountable for dodging South African law, or is he being unfairly targeted? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Heads Up SA, where we decode the headlines and connect the dots behind the smokes and mirrors. Until next time, stay sharp, stay woke. Keep your heads up, SA.
The delegation in the Oval Office went to length to explain how South Africans are so barbaric, we're slitting each other's throat, there's crime, we're a crime-infested, violent country. And for the only solution that we need is the US technology called Starlink to come and assist us. So it is disingenuous for the minister to come and say that. And straight after, we have a minister who goes on an illegal and unlawful venture to go and change the regulations that regulate how we as South Africans domestically, we want to empower and transform this economy. And they have violated every act in the ICT sector. The Electronic Communications Act, Section 9 and Section 13 has been violated. ICASA Act 4 Section 4 has been violated. And this need to hurry to go and amend regulations illegally is very questionable, especially after the Oval meeting. We've seen that in the past, if you want to give a policy directive, there must be a thorough stakeholder consultation. We have demanded as MK Party to know who are the stakeholders that have been consulted in this process. And also, there should be a regulatory impact assessment that accompanies this process. Where has that been done? And the minister is acting illegally and in violation also of the BBB Act, and it's Section 3. And for us as MK Party, we have demanded that they retract this. We've written the letter to the minister, and we are going to also call for a parliamentary review into this illegal act to facilitate multinationals that don't want to transform using equity equivalents that are meaningless. For years, we've been allowing multinationals to come and operate. Microsoft, Oracle, Huawei, and many others. They just go and drill a borehole in some village, paint a school, etc., and they say they have empowered a community.